Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you with part two, what I'm calling Why I'm Region Free. And man, I've got a lot of reasons, but 25 I'm going to show you, and the first 5 I have, with a little bit of an intro in terms of just how I feel about Region Free, and along with that, I mean, to continue along with that a little bit, if you're like me and you were born in around 1970, the 80s, was just an unbelievable time to be alive, and I'm sure none of us really, appreciated what we had at the time, but we really saw the rise and the fall of the video industry, or the VHS video industry, as it was. I mean, looking back at the days when really the only access to film that you had was going to a movie theater, except for 16 millimeter film, which my dad had a projector, and but then came along the VHS machine and the ability to go into a store and browse. And man, I'm telling you, there was some great stores that I used to go into all the time as a kid. And it's just nothing like it. You walk around, you find 3-5 tapes, and for the weekend, and a few bucks or whatever. And that was the life. Now we've been reduced to the red box, as they say. But Region Free has changed that a little bit for me. With the ability to go online and shop via Amazon UK or Amazon Italy, Amazon Germany, or whatever it may be, having the ability to basically go outside the box and be able to surf and look at things and cover art that you just can't get here. I mean, sometimes I'm on Amazon UK, and sometimes I kind of get that old feeling of what it was like as a kid, browsing up and down the aisles of a video store, up and down the horror section, and looking at all that cover art in all of its glory, right? And so, Region Free is sort of kind of restored a little bit that for me. And not only that, but of course, if you remember the stores that we used to frequent in the malls and whatnot, Suncoast Video is one that comes to mind. And I remember specifically, there was a point where the VHS industry must have been at its height. You could go into Suncoast and they had an entire wall devoted to just all the special collector's editions, director's cuts, Letterboxd, widescreen, varied editions of all the VHS movies you could think of, horror movies. I'm thinking like Lucio Fulci's Zombie, and in its collector's edition box that had came out, VHS style, of course. And Anchor Bay, of course, might have been one of the biggest retailers of some of these, a lot of our favorite VHS movies. I just think of the Anchor Bay VHS trilogy, the Evil Dead trilogy that I have. But anyways, I don't want to drag this on too long, but as we go through this list from 20 to 11, I'll probably say, or you'll just be reminded of some things. And so let's start off with La Casa 3. Now, this is an Umberto Lenzi film from 1988, otherwise known as Ghost House. And I remember renting this as a kid, and this was like segue into Italian horror for me. This and a few other films. But I remember just watching this, and it's a little cheesy now, watching it now. I mean, it's no House by the Cemetery by any stretch. But it's a fun little movie in its own right, and the music, the creepy doubt was filmed live on location, or at the same house as House by the Cemetery had been. And Umberto Lenzi, I mean, he's not remembered for a lot. Nightmare City is another one that may come up later. Yeah, La Casa 3, by the way, too, is marketed as Evil Dead 3. La Casa, Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2 over in Europe was marketed as La Casa 2. Of course, this ends up being La Casa 3, Ghost House, and Witchery ends up becoming Ghost House, or La Casa 4, and then even, there seems like there's another one, La Casa 5 might have been, The Horror Show, I believe. So, I mean, part of the Italian marketing strategy to capitalize on U.S. films, right? But La Casa 3, Italian, nice. In fact, I may watch this tonight and review this on my reviews at midnight. So, number 19, the 1990 remake by Tom Savini, Night of the Living Dead, compliments of Umbrella release. This is Australia, and I believe I picked this up before there was a U.S. release, at least on Blu-ray, of this film. Now I'm pretty sure you can find, I can't remember who put it out, but the remake to Night of the Living Dead, Tom Savini. But again, I mean, the artwork is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Number 18, from 1980, Dario Argento, the follow-up to Suspiria, part of the Three Mothers trilogy, Inferno. This is, of course, Arrow Video, and my only DVD from Arrow. Everything else I have from Arrow is Blu-ray. And this is just something I picked up off of Amazon UK, and yeah, it's so not a lot of continuity in terms of. I wish I had the Three Mothers trilogy as one sort of nice set, but this was a beautiful release with an awesome poster inside and book, and I'm just tons of stuff. Arrow really does it up well. From New Zealand, number 17, from 2014, Housebound. This is a Gerald Johnston film, and if you've never seen Housebound, you ought to check it out. It is it's great New Zealand horror, and it's got a lot of cool comedy. It's the New Zealand type comedy, and but this is a fantastic film, and pretty sure I could have picked this up domestically, but again, it was the artwork, and I was making a UK order anyway, so I saw it, and it was really cheap, and just went ahead and threw it in, just really because of the artwork, and I remind myself, I think the DVD cover is what we got here domestically. But so Housebound, New Zealand. Something I reviewed not too long ago, number 16, Alien 2 on Earth, Italian horror. From 1980, Ciro Ippolito. It is an 88 films release. And of all the distribution companies, I would say Arrow in 88 probably makes up the brunt of it. So that's why you'll see a number of 88s in Arrow films. But I just recently reviewed this for BodyBags, and I'll probably, anything I might have reviewed, I'll probably just drop down in the show notes down below if you want to go check it out. But rip off of Alien, of course, but as you could see from my review, that it's pretty cool in its own right. Alien 2 on Earth. For number 15, a nice H.P. Lovecraft, whatever you are, I'm tired, long day. Saw Spider-Man today, but I had to drive an hour south to visit my brother-in-law, and so an hour back, and so I'm a little fried. But The Resurrected, and this is an OFDB Filmworks Dan O'Bannon film, of course, from 1990, and adapted from the Charles Dexter Ward, I believe, from H.P. Lovecraft. It's one of the better adaptions from H.P. Lovecraft. And again, I think at the time I got this, there was no U.S. release, I don't think. And so, and I love the cover art as well. And just seeing if there's any extras I could show off real quick. Dario Argento's, classic from Arrow Video, Deep Red from 1979. Maybe one of the greatest giallo films ever. Arrow Video release, and this film, man, if you've never seen Deep Red, boy, giallos don't get any better than this. This might be one of Dario's best stabs at a giallo. Man, Deep Red, some good stuff right there. Italian stuff. Let's see here. Number 13, Rats. This is another 88 films release from 1984. Bruno Mattei. Yeah, I mean, what an epic release this is. And if you look up in the very corner of the frame above Chevy Chase, you can see the print that I have framed from this. It came with a really cool looking print, and basically the cover there. And man, I'm telling you, what you know, and that's another reason we do this. You know, whether it's 88 or Arrow Films, the way they package the material, I mean, it's yeah, I mean, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And this is why we collect, right? Especially those of us that are aesthetically programmed, wired, whatever. You know, part of it is just, you know, handling it. Well, it is. It's handling it. It's looking at it. It's soaking it up. It's enjoying the work that went into it. And yeah, it's awesome. Towards the end here, Nightmare City, number 12. Arrow release, another Umberto Lenzi film from 1980. And man, this one in particular, well, I think it has a reputation of having the first running zombies. And I guess this is a 2-disc set, as you can see. And also has a nice little documentary with Eli Roth. Comes with a nice book, comes with it, where he talks about his love for Italian cinema and Lenzi, and man, that's a trip of a movie right there. And we'll end the list off with, you know, another reason you go region free is there's movies out there that have gotten releases that have never seen the light of day in the U.S. And so the only way to get your hands on them is to reach out to, like, Amazon UK, say. But Touchy, this is a Swiss film, horror film. Michael Steiner directed it. It's Constantine Films release. This is 2010. I first came across this via Moods, 22 Shots, Moods and Horror. He reviewed this, I think his pick of the week maybe. And it was episode 9, House of the Devil Show. And another reason, I mean, artwork, I mean, just, you know, just not your mainstream stuff. I mean, this is, you know, just another reason why we go outside. So, you know, Touchy, Nightmare City, Rats, Night of Terror, Deep Red, The Resurrected, Alien 2 on Earth, Housebound, Inferno, Night of the Living Dead remake, La Casa 3. A few more reasons why I love being region free. I mean, again, it's just the ability of sometimes getting things that, you know, they might have seen a U.S. release, but man, the cover art is so much better. And the packaging, the extras. I know, like, Black Death over in the UK has a director commentary track, but over here in the US it does not. And so I don't own that yet, but eventually I'll snag it just for that purpose, because I want to hear the director talk, right? So, you know, these are a lot of reasons to go region free way before you go 4K, right? Unless you're already at 4K. But region free, just the ability as a collector to reach out and acquire some things, it just helps collecting be that much more fun, I think. And it helps kind of restore the loss of the ability to go into video stores as we could in a day not so long ago, as we, you know, venture slowly but surely into the great unknown in terms of where all this digital stuff is headed. And we can only hope that physical media will stick around and hang on. And but we got to be proactive, and we got to buy. We got to, you know, be collecting, so as they say. So anyways, part 2 of why I'm region free. As always, go Bills.